back to Presque Isle Downs. As Todd mentioned, shush up. 4-1 in the opener. No breakage. Nothing wrong with $10. Manuel Chavez in the irons. 1-4-2. Two ecstatic missed. Did get that photo for third. Trifecta, not bad. $157 for two. 104 and 3. Final time for the 5.5 furlongs. We had him on last night. We're going to have him on a couple of times this evening. Talking about Doug Salvatore from Timeform US, figure maker, analyst. How you doing? A little wet right now, huh?
Yeah, it's a biblical rainstorm out there, Matt. It's unbelievable how hard it was raining. Just coming from, I've got my little townhouse about 1.5 miles from the track. The whole way in, it was just blistering rain.
Okay, townhouse. Doing well at Timeform US, apparently. Well done. Yeah, it's kind of Old Testament type rain.
Yeah.
That is true. We're going to go through. We're going to talk to you later about the big race, the Masters. Okay, so don't talk about that now.
Sure.
Okay. Let's save yourself for that a little bit later. So we're going to go through the next 4 races: 2, 3, 4, and 5. All 4 of these races, good betting races. Makes the most sense to begin with race number 2. So we'll do that. 6 furlong event coming up, and scratch the 1. Emotional Lady. Shani's Honor, the 1A is in. Before we get to who the horse you like, what are your thoughts on the favorite, Stormy Deeds? Because when I first looked at this race, I thought, oh, she's going to get the lead in this race. Not much pace. But now the more I looked at it, I think Tennis Bracklet, the 1, Bracelet goes to the 3, goes to the front. And she sits second in this race. What are your thoughts on the horse right now as your slight favorite?
I agree with you, Matt. The scratch of Emotional Lady was big. She really looked like the controlling speed in this race. And with her gone, Stormy Deeds, who was 4-1 on the morning lines, opened at 2-1.
Yeah.
I believe she has the most speed. Now, is Mario Pino on Tennis Bracelet going to give a real aggressive ride? Because the last time Tennis Bracelet was in a race like this without a whole lot of pace, she got that aggressive ride and went wire to wire at 41-1. But I happen to think Stormy Deeds is a little faster. The Timeform US pace projector indicates Stormy Deeds will clear and make the lead. So,
and I like the fact I see Sailor's Pastime up there, the 4, who's at 10-1. Because those last 2 starts, you can put a line through them, right? I mean, she reared at the start on the 22nd of August. 2 starts back. She didn't run well, but that was a non-conditioned 7,500 claiming event. We're talking about hours of 2 over the last 9 months in for 5,000. So excuses for those poor performances in her last 2 starts, right?
Absolutely, Matt. Her race 3 back, if she runs to that, she wins this race, even without a whole lot of pace to set her up. But she had a mild excuse in against tougher competition, 2 back. And last time, she just reared and completely blew the brake, again, in a race without a whole lot of pace like today. So the blinkers come off, and if she gets a clean break and runs to that race 3 back, it's going to be good enough.
Okay, one last thing about Tennis Bracelet. She's been showing speed in those better star allowance races, and the times that she doesn't show speed, who's she losing to? Purely Hot, who's on fire right now, who's running in the Masters later on tonight. So, I mean, the 3's been facing better horses, much better.
Absolutely. And Purely Hot's got a look in the Masters, as an underneath horse.
Well, don't give away too much. We're talking about the Masters now. Okay. All right. So your pick is who? Stormy Deeds? Is that your selection?
Stormy Deeds is my selection. 3 and 4 underneath.
All right. Doug likes Stormy Deeds, the 7 in race number 2. Race number 3, $170, hours of 2 lifetime starters. Scratch the 7 horses you can see in this race, Hearts Wild. Before I get to your selection, let me ask you about a wild card horse in this race, the 1, Lady Yellowtail, because she hasn't raced in 9.5 months. When she was racing, she was facing better New York breds at Belmont, Saratoga, and Aqueduct. What do you make of her chances off the long layoff?
She is the wild card in the race, and she's got that Christophe Clement form in New York, and I don't believe she can run back to that today. I don't. Just 288-day layoff she's coming in off of.
Did you do that off the top of your head, the 288 days?
Timeform US. We've got the layoffs between
there
starts.
it is. Okay, it's right in front.
There it is. Yeah, it's on the graphic.
Wow, that's incredible. 9.5 months, 288 days.
288-day layoff. I think she'll obviously need a race. Her form for Christophe Clement's good enough. She's not going to run to that level today. I think Sweet Beauty's going wire to wire.
That's what I like. That's what I like in this race also.
Brilliant minds are thinking alike.
Your mind's probably brilliant. In my case, a mediocre one. She makes her synthetic track debut, as it says there, and she's really, by pulpit of an unbridled song. And we have enough data. Synthetic racing's been around long enough. We have enough data to tell if horses are bred for the synthetic or not, and the 3 has good synthetic pedigree.
Absolutely, she does, and her dirt form's mediocre, but when she gets on turf, she moves up I mean, her speed figures will move up 30 points, and the gamble here is that she's going to handle the synthetic.
Yeah, I mean, she had your last two turf starts. You see a win at 5-1, and most recently a really good third at 7-1. She put away the other speed, and she couldn't hold off a couple of closers. They're at 1-2 in that race, in which she was only beating a length. So we agree with Sweet Sweet Beauty, the 3 in race number 3 here at Presque Isle Downs. Moving ahead to race number 4, 3/4 of a mile. Fat purse at $36,000 in this allowance event. 9 hours of 2 lifetime for 3-year-old fillies. Another race in which you're not going to have a heavy favorite. I mean, you know, right now you could guess any one of 3 as to who's going to be your post-time favorite in the third race. You have Holly Hartley from the inside, kind of a second-itis type. Then second, or, you know, last start was second 2 starts back, was DQ'd in place 4th, but 5 seconds from 12 lifetime starts. We Want Revenge is your morning line favorite. Is just because she ran well against hours of 3 lifetimers in her last start. Now she goes back to the proper 2L condition?
I think so. This race to me is so competitive, but I think the advantage you have in this race is that there's going to be a quick and contested pace, and that really favors the 2-horse Any Given Monday, who just ran a vastly improved race in her only start over this track last time out. She's got some real turf breeding on the bottom. She's out of a Hawkwing mare. Her figure was very good last time. She's going to get an extra half furlong to work with and a much faster pace than she had in her last start. I think she projects a perfect trip, and she's the horse definitely the horse to bet at 5-1 on the morning line.
Okay, I see you have Blush with Reality up there. She's my selection in this race. She got put away by Freud's Mistress in the front in her last start. Just ran a very good second in the opener this evening here at Presque Isle Downs. If you had to pick one horse to get the lead, would it be Blush with Reality, who it's a better draw, I think, tonight also, was outside of Box Office Smash the 4 in that August 21st race. Now inside of her, I think, might have a pace edge tonight.
That's certainly possible, although Box Office Smash is very quick from the gate and definitely got the jump on her last time before Blush with Reality rushed up past. But I think it's going to be a contested pace battle. That's really why I liked it too. I just see 3 horses knocking heads in the front end, and it's going to set up for Any Given Monday.
You're hoping that Manny Chavez has a decent night.
Yeah, he's
at Presque Isle Downs, winning rider in the opener.
And he was celebrating like it was a steak for winning that
good
opener.
for him.
Pumping his, I like to see them riders show emotion.
Right?
I love
on
it.
a big night.
Absolutely.
Like tonight, an undercard race means something.
Yep.
Mystic City scratched because she's going to participate in race number 6, the Presque Isle Masters, and she's 8-1 morning line in that race. But don't talk about the Masters. Don't talk about the Masters. Noble Charlotte, 4-1's going to turn into what? 8-5? I mean, she has faced. I mean, she lost to Mystic City in her last start. You see a strong win, a good allowance race here, 2 starts back. You see beaten ahead at Keeneland in an optional 80 race last October. She's clearly the class of this race, isn't she?
Absolutely, and I really liked her last time in the Windward. She was the best bet of the day in the Erie Times News, but she just did not fire at all, and she's been off 70 days since that race. There's not as much pace in here. I'm going to take a shot with Lavelle Twist, the 7, going wire to wire.
Is she
on a
best
loose
bet
lead.
in the Erie Times News again?
Not today.
Not
this is
today.
a 7-1. 7-1 today.
Okay. The 7, huh?
Lavelle Twist. She'll be loose on the lead.
But she's been loose on the lead, hasn't she, in her last couple of starts?
She ran a couple credible seconds. I think those races will be good enough. I mean, I agree with you on Noble Charlotte if she gets to that back form. 2, 3, 4, 5. But her race last time was a very disappointing race, and she's been laid off 70-some days. So I think, I'm going to take a shot against her.
It looks like, at least on paper, tell me if I'm wrong, working well, right? Noble Charlotte, you see minute 1/5 bullet, 101-2, 101-1.
Absolutely.
Just 5 days ago here at Presque Isle on the 4th of September. Let's talk about some temper. Projects a good stalking trip under top local rider Pablo Morales, who's what, 40-something ahead in the jockey standings right now?
Absolutely dominating the jockey standings, and he does get a lot of live mounts like leading riders always do, but he is head and shoulders
He's
the best
riding a lot
jockey
for Tim
here.
Ham, isn't he? Who's your leading trainer?
Yes.
Here at Presque Isle Downs?
Yes.
Okay.
He's on a lot of Martin horses too, but he is a true standout jockey here.
And some temper didn't run very well, but ran in the Hatoof at Arlington in her last start. undercard race in Arlington Million Day at Arlington Park, and I'm Already Sexy. Wayne Catalano hit the board stables, winning that race. A pretty nice filly who dominated on the 17th of August. All right, just to recap, we just went through races 2 through 5. Give me your best bet. I know you like, but I don't know who you like most in the sequence we just discussed.
I feel pretty strongly. I'll be betting all 4 races, but let's make
I like that. A man with
let's make
confidence.
sweet
you gotta
beauty.
have confidence, right?
Absolutely.
You put in the time, you do the work.
Yeah.
You got to believe that the work's going to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, what's the point?
What's
Exactly.
The point? There you
Exactly.
go. God, we have a lot in common. And we both have townhouses. Although I rent mine, you probably own yours.
No.
In the paddock right now for race number 2 at Presque Isle. Oh, I cut you off. I apologize. So your best bet?
It would be race 3, Sweet Beauty. We're going to hope she takes to this surface. She projects to. If she does, she'll win.
Okay. All right. You stick around another minute here while we talk about what's going on here?
Sure.
For race number 2, let's look at the odds right now. And the public a little confused as to what to do. They like the horse that you like. You put on top, Stormy Deeds, in this race. And that race on the 22nd of August, she sat off of Dixie Shea. She could never get by her, right? And Dixie Shea won that race gate to wire.
Yeah, absolutely. That wide stalking trip here can be tough a lot of times, but the gamble in here is that she's going to be loose on the early lead with the scratch of Emotional Lady and just no pace in this race.
For those of you just tuning in, talking with Doug Salvatore from Timeform US, figure maker, analyst, and a man who, if I was out in the pouring rain like you were, I mean, my hair would be ruined for the rest of the evening. You look pretty good, my friend.
You have amazing hair, but I don't use chemicals in mine. So.
Oh, wow. Them fighting words, Doug.
No, I don't.
Scratch the straight one, Emotional Lady. The 1A, Shinani's Honor. I think maybe a better underneath type in this race. Mac and Mayo, that's a great combo. 8 for 33 in her career, 9-year-old here at Presque Isle Downs. I like the 3, Tennis Bracelet. I'm going to contend that she's the fastest in this field, and she's been facing better opposition. 5-1 off of that 10-1 morning line with the 10th all-time winningest rider in the game, Mario Pino, up. Sailor's Pastime, that's a good price at 11-1. LD's Galaxy, any shot you think with the 5?
I don't like her. I don't think there's enough pace for her.
You don't have to be mean. Easy score, the 6. A nice win at 9-1. 2 starts back at the 7,500 hours of 3 lifetime level, and they got drilled against better state but allowance horses most recently. That 7 Stormy Deeds. Are you a body language guy at all? You're just a figure guy like me, pretty much.
I don't have those talents, Matt. I really.
Yeah.
There's Katie over there. She'd help you out with that.
Yeah, we don't even want to attempt to try to decide which horses look good and they don't in the presence of Katie Gensler. 7-2 on the outside on UK Girl. 10 wins, 9 seconds from 49 lifetime starts. Doug, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it, Matt.
Talk to you a little bit later on. Doug Salvatore from Timeform US, 4 minutes away from race 2.
Imagine a website engineered to help you understand races quickly and
second. Flatter Talk moves up to the outside of Lady Yellowtail for third. It's Sweet Beauty and Oddton down the stretch. Sweet Beauty puts ahead in front. Oddton closing as Lady Yellowtail and Flatter Talk. Sweet Beauty or Oddton. Sweet Beauty trying to hold off Oddton. Sweet Beauty wins it by a head. Sweet Beauty holds on. Oddton was second. Lady Yellowtail up the rail for third, then Flatter Talk.
3-9-1, and it's nice. It happens very often when it plays out just the way you draw it up.
Yeah, you talked about it. You expected this horse to be behind the
Three, $16 ticket for $76.90. So now I have $60 to play the late pick 4 on the house, which begins in race number 5. One of the races involving the late pick 4 is the Presque Isle Downs Masters Grade 2 event, and I am thrilled and honored to have one of the leading riders in the game. She'll be aboard a lot of lovin' in tonight's Masters. Rosie Napravnik joining me on the set. Hey, Rosie, how are you?
I'm great.
Everything
Doing
going well?
great, yes. Glad
Okay.
to be here.
Before we get into tonight, first of all, you could be winning this.
I know, now that I've seen the stirrup,
Look at this.
it's
Look at
like
this.
extra
Look at this baby.
incentive.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Extra
huh?
incentive,
Huh?
yeah.
Forget about the $400,000 purse.
I would really like to have that stirrup.
This is good stuff here. Before we get to tonight's race, let's talk about your year a little bit. I mean, you had a great 2012, even better 2013, right? I mean, you're 5th in earnings 5th in wins. It's been kind of a whirlwind, hasn't it, the last, what, about a year and a half?
Yeah, the last 2 years have been great. 2012 was, excellent, and came off of another great fairgrounds meet with a lot of momentum. Had a good spring, and the Triple Crown was awesome. Getting to ride in all three, all in the same year.
You were third in the Preakness.
Third in the
with
Preakness.
Mylute, 5th in the Derby.
No, yeah, 5th in the Derby, and then I rode the Filly in the Belmont. But just riding all three was awesome. And then hitting the board, being 5th in the Derby, coming down the lane, it's like, you can taste it. Now I don't really want to stop until that happens.
So the best performance ever from a female rider in the Kentucky Derby for our good friend at TVG, Tom Amoss. You've had success in the racetrack for years, but talk about how you went from being a successful rider to one of the more recognizable faces in the game after you won the Kentucky Oaks with Believe You Can in 2012. Things really changed for you then, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that kind of, piques a lot of popularity, and it's just all positive promotion, and when you win a big race, you get a lot of recognition
60 minutes
for it.
following you around, right?
Yeah.
Bob Simon.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did a piece on you a few months ago. That must have been pretty neat.
It was good. It was really good.
Okay, you're riding at Churchill now, and then you'll be at Keeneland next month.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the Masters. Have you been here before?
I have. I rode a race. I won a race for Jonathan Shepard here a few years ago. I can't even remember which year it was.
Okay. Well, as somebody who's not overly familiar with the racetrack, do you try to pick the brain of some of the guys that know this track well, or
I've been watching the track all day. I really like the surface, the Tapeta surface up here. As far as synthetics, it's one of my favorite ones to ride on. But yeah, I've been watching the track all day. It looks like horses are been able to come from off the pace. I mean, not too far off the pace, but from off the pace, and the race could actually set up well for Lot 11.
Okay, well, you're training for. I mean, you're riding for one of the better trainers in the game, in Mike Maker. What is Mike? I mean, you don't have a lot of experience with Lot 11. In the Raven Run, you were aboard her, but she was not the same filly then. Oh, it's Masters time at Presque Isle Downs. Prices, though, from race number 5. No breakage on your 3-1 primed for Passion. All she does is win at Presque Isle Downs. 4 in a row, 4 for 4 at Presque Isle. And dollar pick 3, $97.10. I like to round up. So a C note on your dollar pick 3. Ending in race number 5. I think I've worked with this gentleman more than I've worked with Gino Baccola. He's Doug Salvatore, Timeform US analyst, figure maker. What does that mean exactly, figure maker for Timeform US?
Well, you make speed figures. It's what I make, and our speed figures are a little different than your conventional speed figures. We take pace into account, so the winner doesn't necessarily always get the highest speed figure. Think of a situation like this year's Kentucky Derby, where you had Palace Malice and Oxbow going out in supersonic fractions, and a horse like Golden Soul sucks up and finishes ahead of both of them. On all conventional speed figures, you're going to see a horse like Golden Soul get a much better figure than a horse like Palace Malice and Oxbow, where ours takes pace into account. It's on an algorithm, so there you go.
I like the Timeform US numbers. I'm guessing that Groupie Doll, who opens up at 1-9 here in the Masters, I'm guessing that her figures look pretty good. And doubling your odds is 2-9, by the way, apparently.
I've never heard of 2-9 odds, but
I'm not also. But in terms of doubling your odds, look at some of the prices you're getting. I mean, Winning Image at 68-1.
That's unbelievable.
Kind of humorous, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, Groupie Doll's price will go up a little bit as we get closer to post time, but that is something. I mean, Judy the Beauty, 18-1. She's been first or second in all 10 career starts, and 3 times at the Grade 1 stakes level. So it's a wonderful promotion if you don't like Groupie Doll.
Well done, well done. Mobile device, right? WagerTVG.com. Okay, Groupie Doll is a standout. How much trouble did she have in the Gardenia, in your opinion, that last start in which she was 1-5 and ran third?
I thought it was one of those subtle but extremely difficult trips. She had a poor start, and Rajiv Mirage just kind of, the race was a prep. He took her in hand, and she was behind very slow fractions. It's what you would call a merry-go-round race, where the top 2 finishers went 1-2. And
oh, you do watch the network.
Absolutely. I wouldn't lie about that.
Okay.
Long-time viewer. But Groupie Doll made that 4-wide move through the far turn. There she is here. She looked like a winner, and, you know, she hung a little. I think she needed the race. It was a 250.
mile, too, right?
Yeah.
Mile?
Yep, she's cutting back to her best distance. I think you're going to see the real Groupie Doll today.
Wow, I thought Rosie Napravnik had some fans out here. You have some people going nuts for you.
Oh,
out
that's
here. Doug Salvatore.
the local
with-
kid.
The folks love it here at Presque Isle Downs. Yeah, the local kid from Erie, Pennsylvania, on a huge show like this one. You've made it now, my friend.
Yeah,
You've
General
made
McLean High School. There you go.
it. You love plugging the high school.
Oh,
don't
we
you?
got to.
You did it yesterday also. Judy the Beauty. What do you make of her? I mean, she's going to run the ballerina, but she's not because she scratches the gate at Saratoga on the 23rd of August. You know, Wesley Ward say maybe the blessing in disguise. Now we get to go in this spot. I mean, she did run against Starship Truffles, who's a really nice Marty Wolfson horse, who did beat her in the Princess Rooney. She was second behind that gate-to-wire winner.
I agree. I think Judy the Beauty is the logical alternative if you're going to play against Groupie Doll today. I mean, she's as consistent as they come. First or second in all 10 career starts, 3 at the grade 1 level. She's got good figures, good recent form. You know, David Flores into ride. If there is an alternative to Groupie Doll, I think it's her.
Okay, 8-1 currently. Your solid second choice in this race. And before I let you go, Winning Image, do you think, how much does the fact that the 1 total core is in this race, how much does that hurt the chances of the 7?
Well, I mean, the funny thing about Winning Image is that she's never run on a synthetic track, and it's a gamble because horses don't always translate. Sometimes they'll surprise you and run better than you think. A lot of times they won't when they're dirt horses, but I think the pace scenario doesn't look too favorable for Winning Image. I think that there's a lot of other speed in there, like you mentioned, Toracor, and
Yeah.
I don't like Winning Image's chances today.
Well, Doug, you're a sweetheart of a guy. It's been great getting to know you over the last couple nights. You're on last night a couple times this evening. Doug Salvatore, Timeform US analyst and figure maker. Thank you so much
I appreciate it
for
Matt.
coming on. Enjoy the Masters, the big race here at Presque Isle Downs, and hopefully our paths will cross down the road.
I hope so, Matt. It's been a lot of fun. I don't think anyone's ever called me a sweetheart of a guy, though, but I appreciate it.
You know, again, I'm pretty secure with myself, so I'm fine with saying that because it is the truth, my friend. Right now, a couple of sweethearts in their own right back in the TVG studios in Los Angeles. And guys, it's nice. Doug, young guy who's been watching TVG when he was like yay tall. He was like yay tall. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what else is very nice is that you would share hair products with him after he had that run through the rain from his townhome there out to Presque Isle Downs. I can see he worked out his hair thanks to you, Matt Carruthers.
Yeah, certainly. You guys look great.
You know, you never know when yourself or somebody else can have a hair emergency and it comes into play.
You're a real pair of sweethearts. You look great.
Back here at the TVG studios, we have some other racing action to kind of get out of the way before we keep the focus back on the Presque Isle Downs Masters. Mountaineer race number 2. The field came out on the track literally about 2 minutes ago. So let's show you that post parade. We mentioned Capital E.